Shalom creators, I am Dr. Phyllis Carter Pohl. Welcome to the world of the spiritual alchemist and the temperament therapist. The world of mind mastery, where the components are spiritual focus, mental discipline, and principled decisions. For these are the components that allowed the ancient sages to change base metal into gold. Today, however, these components are changing chaos into calm, lack into wealth, ill health into wholeness, and brokenness into perfection. First, I would like to thank each of you for visiting, liking, sharing, and subscribing to my channel, The Spiritual Alchemist and Temperament Therapist. And thank you for your wonderful comments on my first video, The Truth About Global Warming. Our children are our greatest asset, but like any great asset, they will only be there in the future when we need them, if we are diligent to cultivate and to water them with love and attention to meet their temperament needs. All children may not have the same needs. You will need to understand their temperament needs to meet those needs, and they should know their parents' temperament needs to respectfully meet your needs. My book, Temperament Your Spiritual DNA, can help you in that area. This book will make you a wisdom vessel. Knowing your child's temperament will give you the upper hand. The mask will be exposed. There will be no more guesswork as how to raise your child, what field is best suited to them, or what their strengths and their weaknesses are. Knowing my children's temperament from a young age is why we are friends today. I know what they're going to do before they do it. Now that's power. I also know their friend's temperament, which came in very handy. A quick story about that. One friend who had strict parents was always threatening to commit suicide. I was concerned and did his TAP, his temperament analysis profile. He turned out to be a sanguine, not a melancholy, as I first thought. It was unlikely he would kill himself unless it was an accident. We knew before we came here that among all the planets, Earth is the place of contrast. We came here believing we could overcome it because nothing was too difficult for us in the last place where we were. The only legal way to enter the earth to maintain our sonship status was to come through the womb. But we got amnesia upon entering this planet and forgot the great power residing within us. And now man's quest is to awaken to the consciousness that he had before he came to the earth, so that his children can go through life awakened to the realization that this dimension is not the real world, but an illusion. Things are only real to us because our consciousness makes it so. If this world is just an illusion, if everything is an illusion, then we can choose our illusions. We can create the best illusion for ourselves and our seed. Scripture says if you can see it, feel it, touch it, taste it, hear it, then it's temporal and can be changed. If this world is true reality, it could not be changed. True reality is eternal and can never be changed. F.L. Rawson, one of the most spiritual men that ever lived, his books are not easy to obtain, but if you can, you'll be very happy that you did. He reminds us that heaven is the only reality and only temporary things can be changed. So let's teach our children that the energy that creates worlds is within them. Every mother does her best to raise her child. However, one person's best may be evil as compared to another person's best. You've heard the saying, good is evil to best is evil to better, and better is evil to perfect. It simply means there's always another level of learning to be experienced by all of us. So what does it take to raise children that are well-adjusted in a seemingly chaotic and fearful world? It takes a mother or parents that are well-adjusted and fearless. Your children are as well-adjusted as you are. Here's my advice. You must be a helicopter parent, hovering over your children's activities. Check their phones, check their computers, know their friends' parents. Stay in their lives after they graduate high school. After graduation is not when they really become an adult. This is not the time to encourage them to leave home unless they're going to college. Even if they are in college, you should be speaking to them several times a week. And even after graduating from college, they should be encouraged to live at home, to save money, to buy a future property, perhaps their first home, or an income-producing property for their retirement. The average 17-year-old is no way as mature or responsible for his or her life as their parents were in their generation, at their age. Reason being that most kids have had everything given to them. They're just not mature enough to share an apartment with someone like themselves. It's the blind leading the blind, and you know how that adage ends. Let's go over the 10 steps for changing children into gold. Number 1, teach your children higher self-respect. That is to respect their higher inner self. That's the power within themselves. It's what Job called the spirit in man. When they learn to look to their spirit within, they will have more answers and idolize others less. In other words, they will stop giving their power over to others. Number 2, teach your children that all answers are within them, for the king and his kingdom are within us all. Have them ask for wisdom and watch for it. It's on the way. Number 3, teach them the 6 creative powers our mind uses to create our life. Their thought, words, emotions, imagination, decision, and action. Number 4, teach them they are the cause of everything that happens to themselves. They are creating their world. It's not always God and it's not always the devil. It's the use and the misuse of their 6 creative powers. This is too powerful to develop at this time. However, in the near future, I will expound on each of these principles. Number 5, raise your children to care about their country. What you don't respect will move away from you. The universe will not be mocked. It will not allow you to benefit from anything you curse that you should be blessing. Number 6, raise them to be responsible for their lives. There's no free lunch. The piper must be paid, even if it's with their soul. Number 7, raise your children to care about the music they listen to. Music will either open your mind to a higher vibration or close it. What you sing, you pray twice. That means what we sing repeatedly becomes a command to our subconscious mind to produce those words in our lives, in a situation, an event, or circumstance. Remember, Lucifer was in charge of the music department in heaven. When he fell from heaven, he landed in the choir at your place of worship. We now know for sure he landed in the music industry. Number 8, teach them that life is a journey, not a destination. Number 9, teach them that they are worthy of love, God's and yours, no matter what mistake they have made on their journey. Number 10, teach them we get what we think about, whether we want it or not. So focus on what they really want, not what they don't want. Also, many of these principles are explained in my book. The goal is to teach your children to be independent, not codependent on you or anyone but their source or the God inside them. These are powerful lessons for every successful parent to master. Even before I had my first child, I always had a heightened sense of responsibility or great respect for children. I've always felt they deserved unselfish parents, that I as a parent had to change my negative habits to protect them, and so I did. I was married within the same year I graduated from high school. We were married for 7 years before we intentionally had our first child. When the doctor told me I was pregnant, I stopped smoking that day and never resumed the habit. That was over 30 years ago. I always knew that environment shapes the man. That's why I have always been willing to make changes in my environment to stop my kids from stumbling. Now, why do you have to reprogram your children for greatness? Because parents are losing influence on a daily basis. Your children are being made to feel powerless by being taught in school to accept mediocrity in every area of society through political desensitization. With these 10 principles, you can help save your children. Finally, you may have missed many of these steps while raising your children, but every day is a new beginning. It's never too late to begin doing things a better way. You can implement these suggestions with your grandchildren or even with other people's children that you love. However, make sure you are living the advice you are giving. And one day, your children will crown you with a crown of gratitude for who you are in their lives. In closing, I would like to thank you for viewing my channel. Thank you for viewing my blog, Spiritual Alchemist, Temperament Therapist. I also invite you to let me know if something resonated with you today. Thank you for subscribing. You'll want to be first to get my new videos. You don't want to miss higher truth and greater revelation. Until next time, creators, I am Dr. Phyllis, wishing you love, happiness, and gold children. Shalom.